An uncontested divorce is when both parties essentially agree to all the terms that are pending before the court, and it's simply a matter of drafting the agreements, the marital settlement agreement if both parties are agreed, or an allocation judgment if there are children involved. And once both parties sign both of these documents, we file them with the court, the judge reviews them, and we have one simple hearing in which we question both parties before the judge to ensure that the judge is comfortable with the agreement and that both parties indeed agree and that the terms are fair. And you're divorced. Quick, simple, and easy. If you agree on everything except for the kids, it's not an uncontested divorce. It does mean that it is contested, because an uncontested divorce is where everything is agreed, right? Every single detail is agreed, and it's just a matter of preparing the documents, both parties signing, the judge reviewing and signing. But if there's any pending issues, and one of the most contentious and important issues that's decided by our divorce courts is custody of the children, then indeed that is something that often takes years to resolve in the divorce court. An uncontested divorce typically takes 2 or 3 months, as it's simply a matter of getting the documents together, getting the parties to sign, and getting one hearing date, depending on the judge's calendar. Some judges have a hearing date available in a matter of weeks, some take months. And it's just that one hearing in which the attorneys essentially ask you about the basics of your relationship and the agreement and whether you agree. The judge reviews and signs, and you're done. Contested divorces are more common because often there is a tremendous amount of emotional weight that's involved in the divorce process. People are coming with grievances against their spouses, oftentimes very legitimate grievances, that they've alienated them from the children, that they've taken an unfair share of the marital assets, that there's been adultery, that there's been many issues, right, that have led to the divorce, that one of the two parties, or often both, feel very wronged by their spouse. Now, even though we don't have fault-based divorce in Illinois, essentially all these divorces are filed based upon irreconcilable differences, which means that we just don't get along anymore. There are often ways in which these issues are significantly involved in the divorce process. For example, dissipation of marital assets involves where one of the parties has spent marital assets on resources that have nothing to do with the marriage. The classic case is adultery, that during a time of a breakdown of the marriage, one of the two parties goes and buys jewelry or takes their paramour on expensive trips or things of this nature. In this case, there is a claim that the individual who did these wrongful behaviors should return these assets to the res of the marriage, the property of the marriage, such that there can be an equal distribution, that the party who's been wronged can reclaim those assets in the process of distribution of the marital assets. When one does not have an attorney in a contested divorce, one is running the risk of handling for the rest of their life a divorce document, a divorce agreement that will have a tremendous impact on their financial wherewithal for the rest of their life in many, many cases. If there's children involved, all the more so, this document that comes out of the case will impact the status quo of the relationship between both parties and the children, not just until they're 18, but often for the rest of your life. So it is very important, just like you don't want to work on your car without a competent mechanic. You don't want to work on the future of your life, essentially of many, many years, what's going to come in the rest of your life, without a competent attorney who knows the legal language, who knows the law, who knows what will be the impact of the document that's going to come out of this case on the rest of your life, and can explain it to you in a way that you properly understand. Thank you for listening to our videos. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions whatsoever for your free consultation to KHK Family Law Attorneys.